For most dogs, a trip to the vet is a routine thing. But dogs like Chai, who's aggressive with strangers, it can be anything but. Today she had to go to the vet for her annual exam and meds check. So this is what happens when you take your stranger danger dog to the vet. Getting to her appointment actually went really well. Chai loaded into the truck, and once she realized we were going somewhere, she was perfectly happy to take her cheese stick and settle in for the ride. This is one of the things can be really misleading with a dog like Chai. She can look completely normal to us. She can ride completely quietly in a car, she takes treats, she can do tricks, and then a situation changes and suddenly she's a very different dog. Our veterinary clinic knows Chai, and they are incredibly accommodating. They actually scheduled her appointment so that there wouldn't be any other pets being seen at the same time. That meant we didn't have to deal with dogs barking in the lobby, strangers coming in and out, or other animals passing her exam room. For dogs like Chai, that's a huge difference. We were able to go straight into the building and into the exam room, and for the most part, it was just me, Chai, and her favorite person, and the vet staff. Before the vet came into the room, I talked with the vet assistant privately out in the lobby. This wasn't our first visit, and thankfully it wasn't an emergency. It was her annual checkup and medication refill. So we already knew what we were dealing with. The vet tech and I talked about how she'd been doing, her behavior, and the medication she's currently taking. And then I went back into the exam room and we waited. While we waited, I started doing something that Chai knows really well, her tricks. Not because I expected her to suddenly forget that she was afraid of the vet, but because giving her something familiar to focus on helped keep her brain busy. There were still noises outside the room. She was still barking at people moving around. She knew we were in a veterinary clinic. But instead of just sitting there watching the door and waiting for something scary to happen, she had something to do. I just asked her to sit down, shake, settle, eat her cheese, and you actually could see her start to settle. And then the vet came in, and this is where things got a little bit harder. Chai growled and she lunged at her. That's the behavior that makes veterinary care difficult for dogs like Chai, and potentially dangerous if we don't manage the situation carefully. But something interesting happened. When I was able to redirect Chai into her tricks and reward her with cheese, she could focus on me instead of the veterinarian. She wasn't suddenly comfortable with the vet. She wasn't suddenly saying, "Oh, never mind, we're friends now." She was still uncomfortable. We were simply giving her another option for how to respond to that discomfort. We talked with the vet about Chai's behavior. We went over the medication she was taking. And that's an important part of Chai's care. Medication isn't a magic fix for her behavior. It's just one of the tools that helps make it possible for her to function in situations that would otherwise be overwhelming. And management is a tool. We didn't ask Chai to tolerate a room full of dogs and strangers. We didn't force her to interact with anyone. We didn't try to make her get over it. We made the environment as easy for her as we reasonably could. And then we gave her things she already knows how to do. Finally, it was over. The vet left, Chai went back out to the truck, and we went home. This is probably everyone's favorite part, for us and for her. The dog who had just spent the last half hour stressed enough to growl and lunge at the vet was perfectly happy to get back in the truck and go home. By the time we got home, Chai was just Chai again. And honestly, that's what success looks like for us. Not a dog who loves going to the vet, not a dog who happily lets strangers handle her. Just a dog who was able to get through something really difficult safely and then come home and relax. If you live with a fearful, reactive, or aggressive dog, you probably know that things that seem ordinary to most people are anything but ordinary. Sometimes success is not about changing the dog's feelings. Sometimes success is just helping them get through a situation safely. And that's what we did with Shy today. And now we're going to go do absolutely nothing while the medication wears off. If you want to follow along with more real life dog behavior and some behind the scenes here at the ranch, be sure to subscribe to Doing Dog Stuff. We'll see you later.